영원히 stay gold and never let go.
Hi, we're gonna try to make this video not extremely long. We'll see how that goes. Basically, I'm always inspired when I see these types of videos where they just talk about albums. Especially Meg R on YouTube. She does a lot of these different types of videos, and I just think they're so cool and fun that I wanted to do one of my own. So I'm going to be starting this series, quote unquote, off with just discussing my favorite full-length albums that I've bought over the years. So not to rag on anything that was released in 2019, but you won't see a lot of that in this video because I haven't gotten enough time to really soak in that music yet. There is one, though, that I just have been in love with. So I have multiple groups here, multiple albums from the same groups as well. I just threw everything in piles, and it's just going to be randomized, so it's not like one section is just talking about one group for like 7 minutes or whatever. Starting off, we have the first album on the pile, which is 21's album, their first album, To Anyone. This is a classic to me in terms of it being full of songs that really got me into K-pop. Back in 2011, I was delving deeper into K-pop because I knew of a few songs and I listened to a few songs, but I didn't have a broader horizon of what the songs were. So this album in particular, though, it is a great one. It's full of classic 21 songs that I discovered on YouTube when I was getting more into K-pop, such as Can't Nobody, Go Away, Paksucho, Clap Your Hands, Slow, Love Hurts, You and I, the Park Bomb solo, Try to Follow Me. It's just full of great songs that I will always remember for their quirky music videos, crazy sounds, and definitely so glad to have this one in my collection because it is a staple of what got me into K-pop. Favorite songs for sure are Clap Your Hands, Slowly, beautiful ballad, Love Hurts, and Try to Follow Me. Great album. Next, we have Brown Eyed Girls, and this is their album Sound G. This is the first K-pop album I ever bought. I discovered their song Abracadabra and instantly fell in love with it. It was so cool. And I remember getting this in the mail and seeing the packaging and was just blown away because I'd never seen a package like this before in my life. So favorite songs for me are Abracadabra, the third song, which I believe is called Addiction, Candyman, Moody Night, Strange Days, Can't Go. Oh, they're all great, though. I pretty much love this whole album. I haven't listened to it in a really long time, but back when I first got this in 2011, this was on straight repeat for a while. And congrats. This album has officially turned 10 years old as of 2019. Love that. And then we have a boy group album, which is Teen Top's first album, number 1, their first full-length album. This was back when I was also becoming a bigger fan of Teen Top. I was kind of like on their earlier music, but I was getting more into the group and they came out with this. And I remember it was spring break, junior year of high school. We were checking out colleges down in Southern California, Long Beach and San Diego to be specific. And we stopped by Koreatown in LA and we went to Music Plaza and I picked this album up and I just remember loving all the different songs and really getting more into Teen Top's style. So favorite songs, Miss Right, that's a classic in the Teen Top discography. You're lying to yourself if you don't think so. Missing You, love Missing You. Stop Girl, really love that one. Song number 6, Why, Ricky did that thing with the chorus. Hello is beautiful. And I also really loved Get Crazy. And Mr. Bang is really good too. Just a great album. I feel like no one really talks about it anymore, and no one really talks about Teen Top, so give Teen Top some love because they're really talented dancers. A newer album on this list is Twice's first full-length album. This is the repackaged Marianne Happy, because Twicetagram is great, but with the addition of Heartshaker, that's the version I like. This was the year that I really announced that Twice was my favorite girl group at the moment. And I was just so in love with their music that I just wanted more and more and more. So I snatched it up right away in Myeongdong when this came out. And my favorite songs are Heartshaker, Likey, Turtle, Missing You, Fast Forward, 24/7. 24/7, when it gets to the breakdown after the second chorus, is too lit. It's lit. Love Line, Don't Give Up, You in My Heart. And I really like the ballad song as well, Good Night. That one's really pretty. Just a solid album. And if you're wondering, where are the CDs? They're in a CD holder. And then we have another classic in the K-pop world, Infinite's Paradise. So I bought this when I was becoming a bigger fan of Infinite. I think this had to be 2013. That year, I bought so many Infinite CDs. It was crazy. And I bought this one for Christmas because I got some money. And I remember when I first heard songs off of this album, I really didn't like it. The only song I liked was Real Story. But then 2013 just saw me growing more in love with Infinite's music and their distinct sound. And it's just great K-pop songs. Favorite songs: Neko Haja, Be Mine, Paradise, CoverGirl, 1/3, Julia, Because, which is Sungkyu's solo, Crying, Amazing, Real Story, Time. It's just a great album, and this is definitely one of the key components to what made Infinite become one of my ultimate groups back in 2014. Because 2013, I really fell hard for Infinite. And then 2014, I decided that they were one of my ults. Next up, we have SHINee with their 5th album, One of One. There's another SHINee album that I'll talk about later on this list. But I really want the repackage of this because I really like this album. And then I also really loved the inclusion of the new songs of One and One. Tell Me What to Do was amazing. Rescue. Ooh, that song though. She's a bop. But this is just a great album. I remember it came out and I just was so in love with the One of One music video. The sound of it was so good. It was so catchy. And like with all of SHINee's releases, it was a great, terrific album. Duh. So favorite songs: Prism, One of One, Feel Good. Really love the ballad song, the slowest one, Don't Let Me Go. Love it. Lipstick, another great one. So amazing. It's just a really great album. Definitely need to get my hands on that One and One album though. But this is the jam. They said we're gonna do 90s, and bitch, they did it. Then we have this one, which is 4 Minutes, first full-length album, 4 Minutes Left. This is before everyone got so obsessed with them because of their song Crazy. I've actually been rocking with 4 Minute for quite a while. My musical taste changed over the years, so I kind of fell out of love with 4 Minute. But anyways, long story short, one of my mom's co-workers, they were taking a trip to Korea. I gave them this list. And basically her and the person that she was staying with in Korea, they went to a music store and bought all the albums that I wanted for me, which was awesome. And this was one of them on the list because I had recently really become a fan of it. This was back in 2012 when I got this. As you can see, the paint is starting to wear off on this. That's how much this album has been handled because I just love it so much. It just has some really great 4 minute songs that maybe aren't as looked at as a Volume Up or a Crazy or a Hate You. But it has Mirror Mirror, which that used to be on my TV, they had like a K-pop music section in the music on demand, and that would be there. Heart to Heart is a really great song. This is definitely 4 Minute being a little more cuter. Sweet Sugar Honey was the first song I heard off of this album and the first song I bought on iTunes from this album. Then there's this beautiful ballad called Pretend. That song is gorgeous. And then You Know is so catchy. And then they have other songs as well. It's just a great album. And it sucks that 4 Minute never got to have a second full-length album. Then we have After School's Virgin. So at one point in time when I bought this, After School was my favorite girl group. This was before I said Girls' Generation was, and before Twice. I just loved After School. Their concepts were so unique, and this one was no different. I remember stumbling upon Shampoo and was like, this video is long, super long, but the song was so good. And then I just remember being so blown away with all the visuals. And I also was getting more into their older music. So it was really great that they included songs like Bang and Because of You and When I Fall on this album. They should have added Diva as well, but you know, life moves on. Anyways, great classic staple After School album. Favorite songs: Shampoo, Bang, Player Love is really pretty. Dream, I really love Dream. Because of You, love that one. Shigane Gideo, that's a really good one as well. So is Jung's solo, My Bell, that's a good one. Funky Man, oh my gosh, I haven't heard Funky Man in a while. That's Nana and Lizzie, so good. And then When I Fall is a beautiful song. I love this album so much. I think this was my first After School album I ever bought. When was this released? 2011. I didn't buy it in 2011, but I bought it in 2012. Oh my gosh, such a classic. And then we have U-Kiss with their album Neverland. This was a album that I saw being advertised on Yes Asia at the time. That was the only website I knew where you could buy K-pop from, and I was intrigued by the album cover, so I went onto YouTube and listened to the album. I remember hearing Baby Don't Cry as the first song, and I was like, wow, this is great. At the time, I was only into girl groups, but then I had to buy this one after I heard more of the songs on this album. So this is the first boy group album I ever bought, and it's a classic to me. I think this is U-Kiss's best album. Okay, Neverland is just so great. Baby Don't Cry, Someday, oh, Someday's beautiful. Take Me Away by Hoon and Kevin, so gorgeous. On the Floor, really amazing song. Obsession, that's a good one. Top That, Tell Me Why, which is Dongho and Eli. Such a great song. This is just a great album, and I haven't heard this one in a while either, so I'm gonna definitely have to go back and listen to it because it's really great. This is what started me buying boy group albums and getting more into boy groups. Then we have this, which is SHINee's Hello. This was bought with the 4 Minutes Left album. SHINee was the first boy group I ever saw with replay on YouTube, and then my friend in middle school, they talked about the song Hello and how much they liked it. So I listened to it and I really liked that song as well. And I listened to the rest of the album and found the iconic Lucifer. And then I just really fell in love with this album and realized they had such amazing vocals. This is the first SHINee album that I ever bought. Favorite songs are Lucifer, Hello, Get It is funny, but I like that song. Up and Down. Ayo, such a good feel-good song. I'm sorry, I can't see this print, it's so tiny. Quasimodo is so beautiful. Wow 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 is an auto-tuned mess, but that song is so good. Where's the other song? Ready or Not. So good, so catchy. With the SHINee album as well, this was another album that was bought in on the list. Beasts, Fiction and Fact. Thanks to Music on Demand for Comcast. They had the MV for Fiction. Checked it out. Really loved that song. It was gorgeous. So it prompted me to listen to the rest of the album, and I fell in love with it. This is me back when I was getting more into different boy groups. I knew of U-Kiss, Big Bang, 2PM, SHINee, and I wanted to find more boy groups, and this was one of the albums. So Fiction, Back to You, Virus, oh, really good. Oh, shoot. What's the name of that song? Bula Bojiman, Call Me? Something about that. And then On Rainy Days, so good. Just a great album. The Fiction orchestra version is also really gorgeous. We haven't even made it through a full stack yet, and it's almost 15 minutes. I'm so sorry. And then we have b.a.p's For Sensibility. The year before this, they released Crash, and I was a big fan of Crash, and I started really getting into b.a.p's music, also because No Mercy, that song was on Comcast On Demand. Thank you, Comcast On Demand. That's probably another reason why I found so many other K-pop groups. So they released this album. It was sometime in the spring. I had to go down for a music audition, and I begged my mom to stop at Music Plaza in LA, and I bought this, and it's incredible because I was such a big fan of Chonsa, Angel, and the other songs on here as well. Check On, Shady Lady, Lovesick, SNS, Sexy, I don't remember what the other part stands for. Body and Soul, though, that was the song that really took me over the edge. Body and Soul, instant classic. Save Me, instant classic. Baby for the fans, and then With You, which is just a beautiful song. Just a great full-length album. And b.a.p is also like kind of underrated nowadays, though. I mean, TS is complete and utter trash, but this is a great album. Their 2014 release is the iconic 21 second full-length album Crush. I remember me and about everybody else was waiting for this release, y'all. And then they finally dropped it with the music videos for Come Back Home and Gotta Be You. And it was just such an iconic moment because it was like long awaited. Hey phone, hey me. But just a great album. I actually bought this at this like stationary bookstore near me in the Bay Area. Probably overpriced, but you know, I saw it, snatched it. Come Back Home, Gotta Be You, which is one of my all-time favorite 21 songs. What is the name of that song? If You Were Me? Something, I don't remember what the name of that is. Good to Me, Mental Breakdown, Baby I Missed You. This is just the iconic bop of an album. Achtung Musicians Play. This was released, and I remember everyone, I guess, there was people that were making it a big deal that they signed on to YG, and I was like, okay, well, let's see what they bring to the table. And I saw the music video for 200%, and I was like, oh, this is what they're doing. Oh, this is upside down. No wonder I was being very sticky. And I was like, wow, that is such a fresh sound for YG, because I knew YG for hip-hop, and they were doing something so fresh. Like, yes, they were rapping, but it was different sounding. And then they released the music video for Give Love, and I heard the songs on YouTube, and I just loved it. So I bought it for my birthday. Give Love, 200%, Melted, On the Subway, oh, Hello, Little Star, oh, Galaxy. It's a classic. This is one of the best albums, period. And then we have Wonder Girls with their album Wonderworld. I bought this with Christmas money that my grandma gave me back in 2011. So Brown Eyed Girls was the first album, and then I bought Wonderworld and then some other albums. And I was a big fan of Wonder Girls, and they had recently came back with Be My Baby. I found it on YouTube and was loving it. And then I listened to the other songs on here and was so excited that I had to put this on my list. So it's a classic. It's very dirty. It's old. So favorite songs: Girls, Girls, Me In, Stop. Oh my gosh, Stop though. Great. Dear Boy, Act Cool featuring SHINee. SHINee is kind of trash nowadays because of the stuff he says. It's real reckless, but Act Cool, I remember that song. It was on repeat, boy. This is just a classic album. get into it. Wonder Girls, so good. And then we have Winner with their debut album 2014 SS. So I did not pay attention to the whole show where it was Team A versus Team B. I was like, I don't have time for this. I really also don't care as much. At this point in K-pop, I was kind of moving away from YG groups because I didn't really like most of the songs. I liked some stuff, but not everything. So I was really like, I could care less. But then they released the album and I listened to Empty and Color Ring and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, whoa. I had no idea what to expect, but they blew me away. I just really loved the vocals on Empty. It's one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time. And then I listened to the rest of the album and I bought it. Don't Flirt, I'm Him, Love is a Lie, Confession, Sarang Hajima, Different. All of it is just, it's a great album. And it really solidified Winner as being a kind of different sounding boy group than what we would have expected off of YG. So really love this album. This might be a 3-part video because this is becoming extremely long. I still haven't finished this first stack, and yes, you can see which albums are coming after this one. This is Secret with their first album, Moving in Secret. This was also on the list of albums that were bought for me in Korea with SHINee's Hello and Beast, and you're probably like, oh my gosh, they just bought the albums for you. No. They bought the albums for me and I paid for them. So I remember I worked my ass off doing odd jobs over the summer to afford the albums. All right. So Secret was another group that was on my Comcast On Demand with Madonna and Love Is Move and Starlight Moonlight. So I was really a big fan of Secret. And they were one of my favorite girl groups after school. And this came out and I was so in love because I just loved their style, loved their sound. And I remember the first song I heard off of this after Love Is Move was the song Together. Gorgeous, gorgeous song. Isn't one of the songs on here called Bastard? Yeah, one of the songs on here is called Bastard. Classic enough right there, right? Wow. Anyways, so was really in love with the album. And Together is one of my all-time favorite Secret songs. I also really love Don't Smile. No. Don't Laugh. Don't Laugh is the name of the song. Amazinger, which is Zinger's solo. Really good. Movie Star. Neverland is really cute. It's a really good album. The album artwork is a little out there, but oh, they're so glamorous though. I love Secret. They are still an amazing girl group. And they really elevated it with this packaging. Magnet, great. Another classic. This album is as old as when it came out. So it is almost... this is 8 years old. Holy crap. I mean, that's not a long time if you consider the fact some of my other CDs in, like, American CDs are really old. But old for K-pop, it seems like. And then we have SISTAR with their second full-length album, Give It To Me. So, over the summer... when this was released, we had taken a trip down to San Diego. It was like a little summer trip because we were also checking out the college because I was interested in going to San Diego State because they taught Korean there and I wanted to learn. Anyways, there was this K-pop shop in San Diego, super fucking expensive. It's no longer there because it moved into the Zion grocery market and it's still just as expensive as it was when it was its own store. It's like, here's Baekhyun and Susie's digital single album, $30. Girl, you got to be kidding. No, but I ended up buying this album there because I was so excited for the release of this. SISTAR was one of my favorite girl groups. I know I keep saying was, and it's probably really depressing people. I still love them. I still got love for Secret. I still got love for Brown Eyed Girls After School, SISTAR, all of them. Anyways, at the time, they were one of my favorite girl groups, and saw it in the store, snatched it up, because it was a classic. Give It To Me was the bop. And then I also really loved Bad Boy. A Week, oh, so good. Crying, Hey You, Up and Down Like a Yo-Yo. If You Want, oh my gosh, If You Want. Another great song. So this album is just SISTAR perfection to me. And holds a big spot in my heart as one of the girl groups that really made me a girl group fan. Also, it was around this time that I was actually starting to get more into boy groups than girl groups, but I still loved them about the same. But then pretty much 2014 and onwards, it has become kind of like boy group central in my life. I started out really only primarily into girl groups. I really don't know why I had such a weird thing against boy groups. I just wasn't into them. But then 2014 and onwards, I became obsessed. And then we're going to end this part 1 of this series with 17's first full-length album, Repackaged, Love and Letter. I have to put the repackage because the 5 additional songs on there really put this album over the cake. Love and Letter by itself was already a flawless, fantastic album. But with the release additional 5 songs, they gave us a whole mini album of new songs, basically. I loved the album even more. So this came out the year that 17 had become one of my top boy groups at the time. I was just so in love with them since debut. Like, they hit the ground with Adore You, and it was a wrap for me. I was like, I'm in trouble. This is also one of the most expensive albums I ever bought because the shipping was a bitch. Bought this off of Music Plaza, I believe. Yeah. Anyways, I was in love with Pretty You. I was in love with the whole album. They announced they were doing a repackage, and I was like, let me scrape together what little money I do have and buy it. So I bought it, and I loved it. It's another reason why 17 is my second favorite boy group at the moment. Favorite songs. Very Nice. Achtung, Nice. That's a classic. Yepada, Pretty You. Simple, which is Woozy's solo. So beautiful. No FUN. So good. Healing is so cute. I love that song. I really hope they perform some of these songs at the concert, because yeah, you know. And I really hope the concert is at least 2.5 hours. Give us some length, okay? Don't be 2 hours and then we're like, peace, bitch, here's the encore. No, don't do that to me. Popular song is really good. Drift Away, Love Letter. That was Wanwoo singing, and that's such an iconic moment for us. It's an iconic moment. It's an iconic moment. We knew he could sing, but we didn't get to hear him sing on any of the other albums, and then he finally dropped it. I remember hearing the highlight medley, and Wanwoo busted out that singing part. And I was like, ooh, yes. One of the reasons why he's one of my favorites in 17. This is such a great album, and it was my favorite album of 2016. Woo. So, yes, that ends part 1 of the continuational series of what are my favorite albums thus far. This video became way longer than I thought it was going to be. I only talked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 albums. Oh, so the other piles aren't as big. That's why this one took so long. But This is part 1. I will see you on part 2. Bye.